People's Democratic Party is embroiled in a deepening leadership crisis following the Court of Appeal's declaration of Ude Okoye Ude as the party's substantive national secretary. This decision has put the PDP on a collision course with its current occupant of the office, Samuel Anyanwu, who has refused to vacate the position, further complicating the party's internal stability. Last week, the Court of Appeal sitting in Enugu upheld a High Court ruling that invalidated Anyanwu's position as the National Secretary. The court reaffirmed Ude Okoye's claim to the role, ruling that Anyanwu's retention of the office after emerging as the PDP's gubernatorial candidate in Imo State during the 2023 elections violated the party's constitution. Justice Ridwan Abdullahi, delivering the lead judgment, declared Anyanwu's appeal meritless and ordered the immediate implementation of the judgment within 24 hours. Despite the ruling, Anyanwu has vowed not to relinquish the position. He announced his intention to appeal the decision at the Supreme Court, arguing that he remains entitled to the office until a higher court decides otherwise. Ude, emboldened by the court's decision, insists he is now the legitimate national secretary of the PDP. He has publicly warned of severe consequences if Anyanwu continues to perform his duties associated with the office. Speaking in Abuja on Thursday, Ude expressed concerns over the implications of the ongoing dispute for the PDP's upcoming national convention, where a new national chairman is expected to be elected. He said, if Anyanwu continues in this role and oversees the convention, all decisions, including the potential selection of a presidential candidate, could be nullified if challenged in court. He continued to say, this is not just about me, it's about the party's survival. We are all bound by the appeal court's judgment. The leadership crisis threatens to destabilize the PDP's preparation for its national convention. Party insiders worry that unresolved disputes over the national secretary position could undermine the legitimacy of the convention's outcomes, creating a fertile ground for legal challenges. Although the PDP's National Working Committee has previously expressed confidence in its ability to resolve internal conflicts, it has yet to issue a formal response to the current situation. Anyanwu's refusal to vacate the seat, coupled with Ude's insistence on implementing the appeal court judgment, has left the party in a precarious position. Emi Feraga, what do you make of this matter? It appears that both the opposition, the position of the national chairman and the national secretary now, it's embattled, and they are principal officers. What do you make of this story, this development, and the future of PDP?
I think for me, if I'm to be so sincere with regard to this, I will tell you the whole of these things make no sense to me.
Why do you say that?
I tell you, it makes no sense in the sense that I'm so ashamed that supposedly leaders, the political drivers in our countries, in our states, in our localities, when I say our countries, I mean Africa, then particularly in Nigeria, our country, our own country, are bringing so much shame to us. Bringing so much shame. And this also tells me why we have often, gotten our judgments, our criticism, our support to a large extent wrongly. Our focus is always on what in political approaches, there are several of them, but there is one particular one that Nigerians are so adhered to, and they are so addicted to it. They call that one the structural functional argument, where people look at the structure and the supposedly functions of the structure. That is, the rules that govern the structure. Like PDP is an entity, right? It's a political association that have rules, right? And the PDP has positions. And one of the positions is the position of the national secretary. So people are looking at the rules. We are looking at, oh, this one is doing wrong, this one is doing right. And that is the basis for this argument. This transcends every facet of the Nigeria states and economy and even politics. We look at the structure and the functions, and that is where we hinge our criticism, all our supports, all the worries, all the sadness, all the sorrow and the small joy, we hinge them on these things. And that has been our mistake. We don't look at what is actually killing us. We don't give that an attention to see how we can tame it, to bet a society that will be so conducive, a society where politics will be played with glory. We don't look at that thing. And what is that? That is the behavior. And that is where you hear Nigerians where they talk, oh, Nigeria is not working. The system, like in America, like in this, like in the UK. What you see, the system, you hear people say the system. They forgot that there is one very important key that makes the system to work. That is the behavior
of individuals.
Of the individual.
In the system.
That is why it got to a certain stage where political philosophers, some now came with the argument. We have concentrated in the analysis of these structural functions. We look at the rules, we look at this. Why don't we look at the behavior of the man that drives those structures? And they call it the behavioral approach. Nigerians don't give attention to it. Now, if sometimes when I hear, oh, may Nigeria not happen to you, I will say, may you not happen to Nigeria. That is what I tell them. May you not happen to, because the Nigeria problem, if I should explain, you are one of the problem that is bedeviling this country. So it's not Nigeria that is happening to people, but people are happening to our beloved country. Example is what we are seeing here now. The position of the National Secretary is not inheritance. It is a structure, and PDP set a rules on how to assume that office and when to leave and when to stay. And if you want to become, the processes you need to follow to become. But how much of that rules is being obeyed now? But you see behavior taking prominence. I don't want to leave. I must enter even if you don't want to leave. So if you are not leaving, two of us will serve. That is why this one say, if you don't leave, it may affect the PDP. Subsequently, whatever decision that is taken by you, people may go to court and challenge it and nullify whatever thing the PDP have done. That is why it's telling you like that. If you don't want to leave, then I will rule along with you. Two of us will become national secretary. While the other say, I'm not leaving where the court have taken position. So I always want to talk to Nigerians. Enough of this structural, the rules and that. Let us look at the behavior that actually drive our systems. Let us look at the behavior that drive our political parties. With one bad behavior, it can alter every functional system. It's just like when you and I join our hands together. We form a cycle. You are holding me, I hold you, and you hold the next person, just like that. If we detach our hands, we separate our hands, it means we have created a vacuum. The system will not flow as is expected again, because we have created a hole that stops the flow. This is how system works. This is how nations try to look at, just developed nations, they look at the behavior of this person, not where he comes from, not the party alone, not this and all that. This character in PDP, there are people who can exhibit this same character in APC if they have the opportunity. There are people who are doing this in Labour Party now. You must be, I must not be. We have them. Why will a court rule? You call yourself a member of a political party and be a membership of that political organization or association. There is one thing you have done from the ab initio. You surrender your personal interest to the general interest of the party. So the general interest of the party ought to prevail at all times. So if you have interest, you subsume it under the general interest. But how many people are there? They are not doing it. What they are doing is, as I am here, it is my interest that the party must pursue. So the general interest, we bury it. While the other person will bring his own interest. This other will bring his own. That is the conflict of interest we are facing in most of these political parties. The court have ruled. Who am I to contradict the decision of the court? The court say, based on your own constitution. This other one is saying, no, I have not breached the provision of our constitution. That is why I must remain here in that position. In fact, it has become an inheritance. Probably, maybe that is how it is. I'm not a member of the PDP. So So
he said he's going to appeal to Supreme Court. But the question is, has he gotten stay of execution of that appeal court judgment?
you appeal to Supreme Court, you are dragging something, and you have what they call internal mechanism for resolving your conflict or whatever interest. Has that internal mechanism be exhausted?
In this instance,
has it been exhausted?
In this instance, he's the respondent, it's not the appellant. Is it not the appellant, instead of going to court, is it not the appellant that should go through?
Both of them ought to have approached that internal mechanism for resolving their political conflicts. But nobody, this is the problem we're having. People don't want to submit to the Constitution of Nigeria. People don't want to submit to the rules of Nigeria. They what they call party affairs. And there have been several court rulings saying there are certain that are party affairs. But you see people going to approaching the court, even when they are not even exhaust the internal mechanism. Why? Because they don't have respect for that the same association. The rules that govern the association, they are so placed their loyalty and membership to. This is the problem we are having in Nigeria today. Nigeria is an orphan. We don't really have people who see Nigeria as, this is my country, I must defend it by the governed and the government. People try to seek that their personal interest at the detriment of the state, the Nigeria that made them. And later they will come and tell you, may Nigeria not happen to you. Then explain that person what is contributing to the Nigeria state. You will discover the evil, the harm he or she is doing to the state.
So in this instance, with what is playing out now in PDP, how do you see this affecting the NEC Congress coming up next year?
They are dancing naked in the market square. What we do, what is our work? We is to clap for them. We are continuing to clap for them. So their NEC, whatever convention they are to, is their politics. After all, to an extent, one can say PDP to a major extent, let me use that word, have no respect for law. Because at a time we saw where even a person will win a primary election who was supposed to be the flag bearer of the PDP in an election. But one man will say, because this is not who I want, and the whole PDP was excluded from election. Basajo did it now. I say this must be the people brought this one that must okay, PDP will not contest the election. PDP was excluded. We've seen it in several cases, many places. Sometimes we say the election is do or die. Do or die. Why? Because I must be there. My interest must prevail. If my interest does not prevail, then it must scatter. It has become a norm, a character in PDP. So if they tell you that the Supreme Court, the appeal court have ruled, therefore I'm appealing, yes, it falls within the processes that are recommended by our judicial system. You appeal, right? But before you appeal, it is expected that the pronouncement of the appeal court, if it says with immediate effect, the only way to stop it is through stay of execution. But if stay of execution is not granted, it is expected that that judgment ought to be implemented immediately. The same thing in Rivers State. It's the same character we are after a PDP government. So you see, it's a behavior. Where a court will say, go and do this. You say, no, you don't even recognize these people. You have become the sole Lord. You don't even recognize an assembly. You don't recognize an assembly. An assembly that is established by law, you don't recognize it. So it's now within your will and choice to recognize and not to recognize. It's the same thing that is playing out at the national now. Even in any somebody, a court have ruled, you say no. In other words, you are not even recognizing the appeal court judgment. It's a character, it's a behavior.
All right, very well.
Which is very, very, very bad to a democratic state.
Considering that PDP is the major opposition, there have been allegations that, the country is tilting, or concerns, I think that's a better word, concerns that the country is tilting towards one-party state. It
has been a song. Even the PDP that time, APC said the same thing now. than what PDP was doing.
But
because
what is playing out
most
now,
of the states,
dynamics playing out now appears to be very different.
It will not.
Labour Party is balkanized. It's having crisis.
The same behavior of Nigeria.
And you don't even see Labour Party, just like you see PDP, critiquing the policies of the federal government. You see PDP, still speaking. Labour Party is completely silent. You see PDP dancing around possibilities of 2027 on the side of Labour Party. Labour Party has gone entirely silent.
Labour Party will continue to be silent in the sense that, you see, every house built on a sinking sand will always perish when the flood comes. With a little wave, it will crumble. This current Labour Party has said this since 2023, that this one is built on a sinking sand. Because the ground they are standing is sandy. It cannot withstand the test of time. I said it from time memorial where they were joining. I have no Labour Party for long. Labour Party has all the positions that they are currently having now. Labour Party have had the governor. Labour Party have senators. Labour Party have House of Rep members. Labour Party House of Assembly member, local government chairman, councillors. Labour Party have all of them except president. So it is not even this current man that brought Labour Party to limelight as some people are trying to proclaim. We know them. But that Labour Party there, even when Mimiko left, Labour Party was still able to contest an election and won. People like Ovioma Agege, they won under the platform of Labour Party to the Senate. Ejiro Ogenewive won, is still currently a member representing Ugelesa Udu Federal Constituency. He won under the platform of Labour Party before they all defected to the APC. So Labour Party has position there. But then, even when some people were leaving, Labour Party was still standing. But it now came to a new trend, where the foundation was so faulty. Everything is all about propaganda, lies, create emotion, bitterness, and try to manipulate the people into whatever they don't even understand. And at the end, when people realize, I know they will crumble. But for the PDP, who's supposed to be the major opposition, which I pray that PDP should be, people ought to keep APC. We need people to keep them on their toes. We need a vibrant opposition. But as it stands, with the behavior, the common behavior among some politicians, will not allow any party to stand because they are all looking for their private estate. They are all looking for where I can put my spoon and begin to dish without question. That is, they are moving with spoons. As you see them, if you are wearing a suit, there is big spoon. If you are a senator, they are wearing big, there are spoons in their hands. You are not seeing the spoons, you won't see it. They are just looking for the bowl where they can just dip that spoon. They are not really interested in the well-being of the party. We still have them in APC. Some people are flocking around APC. Today, APC is because of what they are benefiting or what they hope to benefit. But immediately they see that thing is not there, they will see how they will balkanize APC, tell you how evil APC is. But today, they will tell APC is this. Not because they love the APC or they are submissive to the good of APC.
Now, isn't that part of the reason for the concern of the internal crisis that PDP is facing and apparently is being a challenge to resolve?
It will continue. It's a big challenge. Why? Because this is the upcoming convention.
Then it is at this point, it's safe to say that we are running a one-party state.
We are not running a one-party state. PDP might not be that effective to certain quarter. Doesn't mean that PDP does not exist to criticize. And most time, what are you actually criticizing? You criticize constructively and show parts. That is what I call criticism. But what we do here is we just try to obliterate whatever the government in power does, whether good is evil, everything is evil. To the extent that I had an article telling you that the budget, 2025 budget, is a mirage, it's nonsense, it's this and that, without him even reading through. Because that is the mindset. So what manner of criticism are they actually criticizing? I pity PDP, honestly. Why? Because the character that is hindering the development of Nigeria is found across the political parties. What will I gain? What can I grab? What can I get? That is why you see some people want to remain within the corridors of power. What is the essence of having the national secretary position? If you meant to serve, you will not be killing yourself for the position. Because you will even see as a burden. Because people will be relaxing. It's expected that you are there working for them. I want to run under the platform of PDP, for an instance, as I'm planning my own political gains and advancement. You, the secretary, you should be thinking on how I will achieve that purpose. So if truly you want to serve, sometimes you want to run away, say, no, this is a burden. But because the essence of the whole thing is not the service, but how I can cement myself within corridors of power to perpetuate my political interests, the selfish one at that matter, to see what I can corner for my own benefit and my family, using the platform, after which, when I am not satisfied or I'm not that well satisfied, I dump it, I run to carry the other one and begin to sing praises of that one. This is the reason. So they don't even care about the party, the two of them. They don't care. They are not bothered about the party. If PDP lie, let people mock PDP. Let people say PDP are this, PDP are that. It's not none of their concern. Their concern is, I must be the national secretary. If I am not the national secretary, then we must tear the party apart. This is the issue.
Right.